Hi, Jay.
Hi, guys.
Want to check in on Puljujärvi, where things are at.
Yeah, yesterday was reevaluated this morning, and looks like he'll be out some time here, somewhere around the four-week mark, somewhere around that time, and so next man up.
I guess next man up is, maybe is less daunting when you've got guys playing throughout your lineup the way your guys are. Do you feel like there's just healthy competition to fill in for a guy like Jesse with guys like McLeod and Ryan playing the way they are?
Yeah, I think we have good players. There's nice options, and we're getting a lot out of a lot of people, and it's a credit to the work that the players are putting in.
A lot of the guys, when they come out here, they talk about the work ethic has increased in the last little bit, and sometimes that can be a temporary thing, and sometimes it has to be permanent. How do you make sure that you keep the dial in the red for the rest of the season?
Well, I think the style we're asking our players to play is a demanding one. There's things in our game or principles in our game that we're going to continue to hammer on. I think you can positively reinforce some of the good things that are happening in the game. And for our players to be playing this style and to have success, I think it's almost a virtuous loop because they're putting the work in and they're getting rewarded for it. And they're seeing the link between the work ethic and the results.
There is increased competition, like you were saying. Now the players are seeing that if I play well, there is ice time. The defenseman can. Does that sort of become part of that self-perpetuating thing that you spoke about? That.
Yeah, I think we want to make sure that we keep lots of people involved. As I said earlier, I think we have good players. There's a lot of good options, and we want to reward the people that are playing well. And it's been a total team effort through this last 4 games for sure.
Jay, you've had to hit the ground running here, obviously, but you've been around this league for a long time, and you've seen a lot of things. But have there been any unexpected surprises as a NHL head coach for you?
Well, the pace of the schedule, which I've had experience with, but with this being the type of year it's been, and with some of the shutdowns, the schedule has been compressed even more. So this last week has been a whirlwind, and we're just trying to manage our rest, and that includes the coaching staff and the training staff and the equipment staff as well. Everyone's a human being here that has to make sure that they're feeling at their best in order to perform. So in terms of surprises, my experience has helped me so that it's not all brand new. I didn't have the head coaching experience on my resume. That's why I went down to Bakersfield, was to get that. At this level, being a head coach, there's more demands with the media. Specifically here in Edmonton, there's a lot of demands with the media. I understand that that's part of the job. And, I would say that the level of skill on a nightly basis from the opposition, that not only on the players on the ice, but the coaching staffs on the other benches, it's at the highest level, because this is the best league in the world.
How about the relationships with the players as opposed to being an assistant to being a head coach for your first week? What's that?
Well, I think when I began as a head coach, I wanted to make sure I was going to be myself. So I'm not going to try and be anybody that I'm not. I'm going to be myself. And one of the best parts about being an assistant coach is the rapport that you create in the little conversations you have during extra work on and off the ice. And I was able to create those relationships when I was an assistant coach here in Edmonton. I don't just turn them off because I'm now in the position that I'm in. Obviously, there's history there with some players that were here in Edmonton at that time. But to me, I said this the other day, the biggest difference between being an assistant coach and a head coach, in my estimation, is the difference between having an opinion and being the one who has to make the final decision.
Sorry, just back to Jesse. There didn't seem to be like a high impact event that set him out. What really happened and what's wrong with him?
Yeah, I don't think it was a high impact event. It was just one of those things where he got tangled up, and it wasn't anything major or dirty or anything like that. It was just one of those plays that happens in the game, and like I said, he'll be on the shelf here for a little bit, but next man up.
Jay, a lot of the players have seemingly been pleased with the way things have been going and the structural changes that have been made. I just wonder, from your perspective, is there one or two things that you are really now trying to stress upon and trying to improve after the 4 games that you have made some improvements?
Yes, we think our pace of play can continue to improve. We want to speed things up. And one of the things we talk a lot about is just our pace through our puck movement. So if you watch any of our pregame skates or, today was a 15-minute kind of clean-out skate. It wasn't a true practice, so to speak. It's almost a morning skate to set us up heading into an afternoon game tomorrow. You'll see a lot of emphasis on our D-men passing the puck well, getting it up into our forwards' hands. And that's something that we're looking to continue to hammer on as we go forward, our pace through our puck movement.
Jay, just over here to the left, we're talking a lot about how you're sharing ice time, 11 and 7. It's only been a week, are you sort of coaching the same way at the NHL level as you were at the AHL level?
I'm trying to, yes. And I think one of the chief jobs of a head coach is to provide a sense of true north, of what we're trying to do or what we're trying to accomplish as a team. And the principles that we had down in the American Hockey League, we're trying to bring up to the National Hockey League here. We think they're winning principles, and we want to conduct ourselves in that manner. With the 11 and 7, that's a tactic. Sometimes that comes down to just trying to maximize the assets that are available to you at that time. And for us, we think that playing 11 and 7 where we're at right now gives our team the best chance to win.
And just as a follow-up, you had a good thing going, right? Assistant coach, you worked your way up. I'm not saying it was a chance, but did you ever think that you could just have continued on in the NHL and had a nice career, maybe had a chance as a head coach, but decided to go, I don't want to say backwards, but to the American Hockey League with the idea you would one day be back up?
Well, I think it was a conscious decision. I had wonderful experiences in 3 different organizations. For me, I realized that early on that I was a coach, and I've gained lots of experience and wisdom working under great staffs. And I felt that if I truly wanted to become a head coach in the National Hockey League, that I needed to check the last box off, which was I had to show the ability that I could run my own bench. And so that was what went into that decision. It wasn't an easy decision. But I can tell you that when I did make that decision and got into training camp that next year, I felt alive in a whole new way.
Jay, a week ago at this time, you were gearing up for your first NHL head coaching game. Now you got 4 wins under your belt. Can you reflect on what's been a pretty wild week?
Sure. I would say the Edmonton Oilers have 4 wins under their belt. And for me, it's been a whirlwind. It's all happened very fast. And right now, and it's the approach we've taken with our team, is that we just want to take care of today. We're going to take it one day at a time. We want to be better tomorrow than we were today. We think it's about the get better, and that's the type of league this is. You have to continuously add layers to the onion in terms of like just growing your game each day. And while it's been a whirlwind for both Dave and I over this last week, we're just trying to focus on everything on a day-by-day basis.
Curious to find out what the whirlwind's been like off the ice. How many suits you packed? how you're settling into your new surroundings, your future plans for your family.
Yeah, so it happened very fast. So I obviously had to go get tested so that I could cross the border. I had to, make sure I had enough suits to get me by for a little bit and enough clothes. And then I was fortunate that this week we played some games in California. So my wife and two daughters were able to go and watch the game in LA. And they were able to mule some stuff down from Bakersfield down to LA and load me up with a little bit more clothing and whatnot. And my wife and children are finishing out their school year down there, but my wife's from Edmonton originally, and lots of family up here. So they'll be making the trip up north to come cheer on the Oilers at some point here.
Just back to the minutes. It's not like you're dramatically cutting anybody's minutes, but there have been some tweaks. Mm-hmm. And Connor said when you first got here that whatever it took, like if his minutes had to come down a little bit, whatever. What can you say about the buy-in you've had from your biggest minute guys as it gets shared around a little bit more and kind of their commitment level to whatever it takes that way?
Yeah, I think you just talked about our captain there setting the tone for everything, which is an expectation of work ethic and buy-in from everyone. So I have felt that. I think this team wants to win. They're receptive to new ideas. They're open-minded. And we're trying to build a measure of consistency to our game over time, and each game doesn't follow the same recipe in terms of your opponent presents different challenges. There's things that happen during the game. In the last two games, we've lost players to significant minutes, so you're moving pieces around, so it doesn't always go according to plan. We want to make sure as a coaching staff that we're light on our feet in terms of being able to adapt to different situations and not be a prisoner to what was decided beforehand. We want to make sure that we can roll with it as we see the game unfold. Good, thanks.